So if you don't know what Ready or Not is, it's a tactical shooter that came out and was pretty successful on PC, but they're trying to port it to console, and the devs are having a lot of PR, having to do a lot of PR maneuvers to try to get it on the console. And honestly, for the fan base, it seems like it's ricocheting right back in their face like a dirty old frag grenade. I can't lie to you. So, Ready or Not is a hardcore tactical shooter. I'll probably have some clips here now as I'm speaking, where you play as a SWAT officer. It's about clearing rooms, making arrests, and ideally not turning the suspect into a human pincushion. So this game really does pride itself on realism. We're talking about like body cams, brutal fights, and some things that are the PR madness, which is dismemberment of the bodies, and it's really like a tactical realism situation. So it was developed by Void. So when I say Void, I'm talking about the company that developed the game. It's not like it has like a huge fan base, but its fan base is very loyal and dedicated to the game. It's kind of like Pal World, where people 2 million players played it, but still to this day, 40, 50,000 people play it every day because it's just that good game for a niche loyal audience. So back in June, Void dropped a huge update that actually brought in a lot of new missions, some new gear, and just general fixes and bug fixes to the game for PC. But hidden in that patch was something that totally lit fire to Reddit, Steam, basically literally every corner of the tactical shooter community. I mean, I've heard of Tarkov players talking about this. The devs quietly censored a lot of the game's more sensitive content. So, for example, the school shooting level was removed. Certain graffiti and references to real world controversial events scrubbed. And I'll get into it more, but even a lot of the nudity, which fair enough. But also on top of that, there was a scene where there was a little girl, I think, or a little child convulsing in a bed, I think maybe a seizure with a needle next to it. You'll see that she's now just sleeping. A lot of what made the game so real for people and gave people that emotional connection seems like it's been maneuvered in a public relation way to abide by certain regulations that have been put in place for console stuff. I don't know. The kicker isn't that they did this. Obviously, they have to do what they have to do to put it on console. They didn't mention no transparency, no blog warning, no, hey guys, we're toning stuff down, just gotta do it. But no, they simply just censored it all and didn't really even say anything. If you know Ready or Not players and tactical shooter players, very loyal, very dedicated fan base. It's like sneaking into a gun show and putting Nerf weapons in there. They're gonna know. So it didn't take long until fans noticed, and yeah, it became an uproar. So if you're privy to Steam reviews, Ready or Not actually went from overwhelmingly positive to mixed. That's a huge jump. A lot of the different reviews were they're bending the political pressure, woke spent censorship, and you sold to the console market. You sold out to the console market, which it definitely seems as if they did. I just I wanted to do a bit more research because I don't really understand why they were so upset with the censoring. Um, yeah, that's the thing. The devs made all these changes, which it would have been understandable if they came out and they were very transparent about these changes, but they did it very opaque. I guess they were really transparent. I don't. We'll see. Whatever. Because the game markets itself as one thing, and then they take out the one thing that they're marketed for. It's very odd. It's like, for example, old school RuneScape. They actually have a polling system in game that you can um, qualify for I think if it's a certain amount of hours or a certain amount of playtime or whatever quantifiable source you have to become qualified to vote on the polls. The polls are actually there so that when devs want to change something in the game, add something to the game, remove something in the game, those polls have to go up and people have to vote on those polls in game. And if it's over 75% yes, they'll do it. If it's under 75% yes, it's shelved. It's great. It's a lot of transparency and it actually helps not only the game, but the end consumer. People bought Ready or Not because it didn't hold back. It wasn't trying to be safe. It wasn't trying to be politically correct. It was trying to be correct. It was just trying to show what it really is like to be on a SWAT team. Ugly situations, moral dilemmas, blood and gore, bad situations. And it seems like it's getting a bit scrubbed clean with that little Mr. Clean magic eraser. Yeah, that was okay. So why'd they make the changes is the real question that I think most people have. To be fair, that's the $1,000,000 question. One theory is that console certification. A lot of people think that it was a console certification thing, that maybe the publishers for the consoles are way different than Steam. Because if you look at Steam, you can see that it is not heavily regulated in some fashion. And on top of that, some people are thinking that maybe it wasn't just because of certification. Maybe they could have got through that and got it certified with a little PR tweaking and not as much as they did. But maybe they just wanted to throw it in there so it would just speed up the process of being certified on console because their game is kind of catching fire the last like 6 months. It has been doing well and only growing. It's kind of funny because they literally made a game about handling dangerous and high pressure situations, but they folded like a lawn chair when it actually came to business pressure. So, I mean, they're great game devs, but I don't know about the decision making. Another theory is a lot of third party investors and publishers and such. Obviously, publishers make sense, but from third party investors, I couldn't really find a lot of research saying that they've gotten some capital from people and ran a marketing or ran a campaign to raise money. Whereas like you see with like Star Citizen, they raised what 800 million or something, and the product is still dog. So I don't know. I'm not seeing really much about that. I would say it's more they needed to get it certified, and whoever it was, maybe Sony, because they said it was coming to PS5. They just weren't happy with how gory it was, and I don't know. I don't know. Why can't you throw M rated on it and it's okay? I don't get it. Because we have MW2 with the no Russian campaign mission. I, it can't get any worse, right? So after the backlash, Void really like broke the silence. What they said, and I'll read here in short, the changes were part of ongoing quality control. They're trying to maintain a balance between realism and responsible representation, and the controversial content may return in a future update after further review. Now, the first two things, yeah, sure, whatever. The third thing kind of does play on that whole we wanted to eradicate it all right now just so we can get it certified and get it out there and make our money because they are in a positive upward trend right now. So that could actually make a bit of sense. And that's also why they probably hit it because they knew it would be super controversial to the community. So they probably said, well, if we tell everybody and we do it super quick, they're going to be mad. If we don't tell anybody, there's a world where we get away with it, which obviously they did not. So basically, yeah, we removed it. Listen, we'll put it back maybe later. I don't know. Chill, bro. It's not that big of a deal. It is. For the first time in the game's lifespan with this dedicated, loyal tactical shooter fan base, I feel like they actually felt as if there was actually some kind of corporate entity speaking for the first time ever. That's not good. That's not good for a small developer team or a game that's a niche game that isn't mainstream. That's not good. You have one thing, and that's a fan base. You have one thing, and that's your fan base. You do not want to do that for a couple million. So the reason I'm talking about it, because I've never even played the game, is because it really did skyrocket it back into the spotlight, right? So it actually went from 6,000 to almost 17,000, 18,000 concurrent players pretty much overnight. It got review bombed, but a whole new wave of players actually came to play it, which is pretty cool. And I mean, if it wasn't what, $50 right now, I don't even know. Let me see how much it is. Yeah, it's $60 Canadian right now. It has a mostly negative review bomb. How about we take an actual look at some of these? Potential customers beware. Do not buy this game. Do not support a company like Void Interactive. The game wasn't perfect initially, but now they're choosing to censor it. They made their money from you, the PC players on Steam, and now out of sheer greed, they're appeasing console market regulators by censoring the game to meet their demands. Their own community manager, Kaminsky, confirmed on Steam that no matter how the PC community feels, this is a done deal. There will be no option to keep their original version or avoid the forced update. To chase console sales, they're showing utter apathy and throwing their own original Steam PC supporters under the bus. Unsurprisingly, many paying customers are voicing their anger, as is their right. This is not a review bombing. It's a legitimate backlash against fundamentally altering a paid product post-sale. And like other studios before them, the developers would no doubt claim that they are the victims here. While friendly game journalists rush to defend this anti-consumer practice, don't fall for it. So one thing I get there is that it's changing the product. So is it changing the product on Steam as well? Oh, I thought they were censoring it for the console version. They're censoring the Steam version. Oh, that's why there's so much backlash. So from what I read and research, it was just being censored. I took that as they're censoring the game right now as a port to console, and they came out with a bunch of patches to the port to console and said did nothing about the censorship, and there was someone with like a beta testing whatever. Wow. So they're actually censoring the Steam version of the game as well. That's bad. Censoring the game that is known for being dark, gritty, and unapologetic is insane. The game is supposed to be uncomfortable and offending. It's supposed to make you feel disgusted and horrid about what you're seeing. It's supposed to show the violent and unfortunate real world that police and SWAT operate in. Forcing this update on PC players after they have already given you the money is disgusting, and you shouldn't support this. Yeah, that's crazy. You bought a product and now it's the whole premise of the product is getting changed. Never forget what they took from us. Ghillie suit, man straight, shirt cocking it. Selling a game that is later forcibly censored should be considered a scam, and customers should be eligible for a refund. 350 hours on record. I wanted improved SWAT AI. Instead, I got censorship. I honestly don't even care about the changes, but I stand with my PC brothers. Shame. So this guy has 583 hours on record. So I actually kind of like I trust this guy. Let's see what he says. I'm one of the first supporters of this game since the moment I was able to become one back in 2019. Played the alpha and even have the exclusive mouse pad that Void Interactive sent out to their first 1,000 people to whoever pre-ordered Ready or Not. Void's decision to censor any part of this game for any reason goes against the entire reason that someone like me became a supporter in the first place, and makes me wonder what is going to be censored next. I will not be spending any more money on anything Void Interactive releases in the future, since it has potential to be censored or changed post-sale, and will be leaving this negative review until the censorship of the game is reverted. P.S. If anybody at Void Interactive is reading this, your community does not need more clarification post about why you're censoring the game. I know you might think we're all just stupid, but we know exactly what you're doing. The backlash you're getting is from your lackluster excuses for doing it. Not because of misinformed gamers, just in case you needed me to spell that one out for you. And he hasn't played in the last 2 weeks. Wow. So as you can see, there's a lot of backlash right now for this game. In the end, bud, Ready or Not censoring controversy is just a lesson just how to not do it. If anybody's watching this video or sees the reviews, if you're making a game, just do not do this. If you're making an authentic game about anything and then you revert the authenticity of that game, you're going to lose people, brother. Will Void actually bring that new content back, or will they double down and clean it up? I don't know, but we'll follow it. I mean, I probably won't follow it too much, but if they do bring the content back or they go back on what they're saying right now, we'll have to see. I'll definitely be covering it. And I asked ChatGPT to tell me a cool outro. So we're going to say a cool outro as if I knew what Ready or Not was about. I'll be watching this one close. Until then, stay safe, don't breach without a mirror gun, and maybe think twice before centering a game marketed as uncensored. I don't know what a mirror gun is. I don't know about breaching in the game, but that's what ChatGPT thinks I should say. So anyway, guys, yep, enjoy. Yep, all right, yeah, okay.